Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Really happy to have you all here. We're going to be talking about comic books exclusively, which is pretty cool. Of course, you guys see I'm joined by the Booster Man and the Thunder Man, so that's always good. And we're happy to have you guys here as well. Please do us a favor and go over and hit that like button and share, so we can have as many people in here as possible to join us and have ourselves a fun little conversation because we do have some fun things to talk about. We have some things to laugh at, and we have some really cool news, actually. So that's neat. But before we get into that, and while I go over and share, why don't you say hi to the people, Booster? They like you.
Ugh,
There it
I
is.
just crawled out of bed.
There it is.
Oh, hey
Uh,
boys, how you doing, mate? Oi.
oh, it's nice
Booster,
to
there is good news. Is very soon,
yeah.
about a month, we'll have daylight savings here in America, so you won't be as tired all the time.
And my schedule will be
The reason
tighter.
I'm tired, I had a little less sleep than usual, but I don't want to fuck up the sleeping patterns.
Well, it
Yeah, I
could be
was up all
worse.
night uploading videos.
Uh,
I have over 70 videos currently uploaded to my
Uh-oh.
channel.
Uh-oh. Booster's got 70 videos. Uh-oh.
and you
Still got about 30 odd more to render.
and what are you going to make them one live every day or something like that?
Yeah,
I see.
every week,
Yeah,
every week there.
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I'm
So I've got
distracted,
content
gentlemen,
until
it's
February.
because my lovely wife decided to come in here and quite literally shake her ass for me, so
Yeah. I
don't
like
mind
when you
me.
do that. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Nice.
no problem. You know, the funny thing with that, although it is awesome to hear Booster starting to get his stuff going with women, is in the house, you would assume, my kids would certainly assume, that it's daddy's the one that's always going around and touching the ass or touching this or that, right? It's daddy that does that. No, it's mommy. Yep. Yep. Mommy's the one that does that most of the time. Yep. And occasionally she forgets where she does. She does it in public and I shame her. It's funny.
Oh, I do it all the time to my wife in public.
Yeah.
Poor girl. If she wasn't my wife, I would already be in prison.
That's
There's no
fair.
doubt.
Oh my goodness.
Always. But no, that's really good to hear, Booster. So 70 videos. So that right there is that's several months of work about to drop, man. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's all as
I am
insane and
tired.
ridiculous as the trailer, I'm assuming.
No. That um the trailer was like 2 seconds of each video, taken out of context, so so don't worry, it's not all like that.
Well, no, I think it's
But
very
there is a lot of
millennial,
story
your
there.
trailer was. I think you're definitely going to hit your target audience for sure.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope people like my content.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
I've got a lot of gaming videos because at the end of the day I am a gamer, but I haven't forgotten my comic audience. I also have weekly comic reviews,
Oh, nice.
and we wanted to break the mold of this little comic sphere where we just rip on comics we don't like because comics these days are so shit.
Yeah.
So we
Oh,
decided to we're just gonna review comics we like and just
Yeah.
rave about them.
Well, no, that's good. We do try to point out good news in comics here as well, but we do rip on the bad ones a lot because it's fun. But
It
I
is
do,
fun.
it
It's
is fun. But
fun, but it's also very easy.
it is. I do have some really good news today regarding some upcoming stuff that I'm very excited about. However. But it is easy, but it also is the fun stuff to do. Particularly some of the stuff we got today. Woohoo! It's a riot. We got Josh in
Oh,
here,
Josh.
Roger, Dave. Hi guys. But yeah, that's definitely good to hear. So Booster's got himself a YouTube channel starting up. He's making money on the bitcoins, which is nice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. How's that going? Sounds like it's going really well.
Um, I just agreed to a percentage deal for Zach, so he should I be talking about that? Oh, well. But basically, the better he does, I do decent. So I'm very happy for Zach. He's quite successful. He's doing really well with his Matters and Monsters project,
Yeah.
and it's only the first couple of weeks so far.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. That's not going to last. However, get on it, hit it while it's hot, right? Make the money when you can. I think it's awesome. I
Mm.
really suggest all these artists that are on this channel and within earshot of us to get on that whole NFT stuff. Get on it. Make your money when because that will shift or something will happen with that. That won't stay like that forever. But it's making money right now, so why not make money on it? Dave has proclaimed himself as being super gay. Awesome. It is
Super
National
gay.
Coming Out Day. I don't know if you know this.
Is it?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. The
well
gays
then
get
I
a lot
should
of
come out.
days.
I should come out as a heavily closeted gay man.
You should. You should. I don't think it's
Mm.
Wait,
very
you're
heavily
closeted?
closeted.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm deeply closeted. Deeply
yeah.
Oh,
closeted.
oh, I see.
Goodness gracious. Roger's
I'm
asking
stealing a
about
Norm
Taiwan
Macdonald
again.
joke
There's not
though.
much
One
more
of
to
my
add.
favorites.
But anyway, let's get into it today. We do got a lot to cover, so I want to get right to it today. We got some fun stuff. So here we go. All righty. And do hit that share button and so we can have more people in here with us, guys. We do appreciate that. Let me get over here and let's get to it. I do have an announcement first from Thunder. I thought was worth sharing, but it's not really the news of today. But we're going to cover it anyway. Let me come over here and get this up. There we go. Do this and then that. Yeah, no, we got a thing here from Governor Abbott. He's in Texas, of course. He's a bit wishy-washy, to be fair. But this isn't. He said very, very clearly that he thinks the COVID-19 vaccine is a very good thing, and it's definitely a helpful thing. However, you can't force people to do it. Therefore, in the state of Texas, you cannot force people to do it. Anybody.
Good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it is good.
I I don't understand where this notion came from among especially Republicans that corporations must never have any restriction upon them. Like just none. You're not allowed to restrict anything, even to the point where they're telling people they must inject themselves with chemicals that they're not comfortable with. I just don't understand the thinking there other than they're corrupt. That's the only thing that makes
Yeah,
sense is they're taking money. Because
definitely.
why would anybody be okay with faceless multinational corporations or just small corporations demanding of their workers that they must be injected with anything? Anything. That's just preposterous to
It
me
is.
that
It
that
is.
should be permitted in a free society. It shouldn't be permitted from a government, and it shouldn't be permitted from any institutional power. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True.
I approve wholeheartedly. I want to see more do it,
We will.
um,
We will.
and
Yeah.
I hope my state does it. I got a. He's a half a rhino, and he's half a man, so that makes sense. Uh, Governor, I don't know if he'll do it, but I would very much like it. But every business around here that I've talked to and the owners, I know a bunch of them, they're not enforcing it. So,
Yeah. No, that's fair. You'll see a lot more of that, I think. And
yeah,
unless it's Texas or Florida, in your red state, you're not going to get much attention anyway.
yeah,
But I do find it ironic that via Supreme Court mandate, which is weird because they're not actual legislators, but nevertheless, a company is not bound by the Bill of Rights unless you don't want to make a gay cake.
yeah,
Then you
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should reinterpret that, and I've been very open about this. Corporations in the modern form only exist because the government literally creates them via licensing and charters.
Yeah.
They should be absolutely bound by the Bill of Rights. Absolutely, they should be.
Well,
I
that's
don't
one
see
way or
any
the
good
other,
argument
right?
against it. Yeah,
That's one way or the other. Either they are bound by it or they're not, and it should be consistent across the board. And me personally, I think if you own a business, you should be able to say who you want to do business with. Now
yeah,
that might hurt your ass in the long run, but you should have the right to do that. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that today. I just thought this was I saw this in Discord, and this is worthy of applause. Good on you, Governor.
good
And
news.
yeah, good news. And we should see more of this. But anyway, let's move on to the actual news of today. So, Booster.
Alrighty. We're waiting until we go to the good one, huh? DC Comics blames late books on paper shortages and printer problems.
Well, a good one, but this is actually informative because this isn't bullshit. This isn't some nonsense, try to misdirect. That's not what this is. It's literally ships stuck at the harbor not being able to get product in. And we talked about this. And Thundera specifically went on a little rant about it.
Yeah.
But it is an ongoing, it's a serious problem. So this I thought was interesting because a lot of times we see these companies do things that are just misdirects or just bullshit to try to cover up some stupid thing they did. This isn't. This is literally a shortage issue with paper, right? So we're seeing paper problems. We're seeing anything that's coming into the shipping market is a problem. We're seeing inflation on extreme in things like wood and other things like that. Gasoline, which doesn't make sense, seeing as America is full of that shit. But there it is. Yeah, I don't know, Booster. Do you guys have any kind of shortages over in New Zealand?
Um, I don't know. I'm having a lot of trouble finding my English muffins lately, and that's a real pain in the
That
ass.
is a pain in the ass. That's a horrible thing. Uh,
And my fucking chicken wings.
oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Uh,
It's practically 1984 for me over here.
Oh my god, dude, that's horrible. I mean, I've
Yeah.
made English muffins before myself. I, actually made them. They're a pain in the ass to make. It's one of those things
Yeah.
that's really happy to be able to just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's not like making bread, which is simple. It's a pain in
Yeah.
the ass. I do love me some English muffins as well.
I
But
love English muffins.
here in Japan though, we have zero shortages. Nothing. No problem.
Hmm.
There's been no interruption of the flow whatsoever. Well, no, that's not true. There has been a one interruption of flow, and that's things from America. But we don't buy a lot of things from America here. It's usually in my specialty shops where I go get American food type stuff. But that's been interrupted. So isn't that interesting? But otherwise, Japan has had no flow problems, and sounds like New Zealand's not having so many. But America's having huge issues. And why is that? Well, where are two major international ports? Where are they? California and New York City.
Yeah.
Right? We got other ones too, but those are the big hubs. And who's in charge of those places? Who's in charge again? Dickheads.
Evil.
Yeah, evil
Oh.
dickheads.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Evil. Yeah. This I thought this was an interesting place to start off today because a lot of times we see these kind of excuses from these companies, but this isn't though. This is legitimate shipping issues,
I
and
would like
it's not
just
good.
one good reason why America, the United States of America, in fact, has any issue with paper. That's all.
Right. Right.
How is that a thing? How do we run out of something so fundamental to the functioning of society? There might not be anything besides like plastic and metal that's more important to keep society civilized than paper.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I can answer your question. Would you like an answer to your question?
Yes.
Yeah. The answer is that they want everything to be imported into America because they want Americans to be consumers, not exporters. This is one of the things you might have been surprised under the old president, that Trump guy, how he was able so quickly to turn a profit in America, get gas prices down. We became this huge supplier of oil, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because the market's there. America can outproduce most places in the world, actually, for pretty much everything. It is the Meiguo, as the Chinese say, the beautiful country, full of resources. That's why the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor. It wasn't because they cared about America; they wanted to take the western part of it. Right, that was their plan. It shows you very easily how quickly Trump was able to do that in a very short period of time because the research, it's there, it's right there, but they're not using it. They're halting it. They're tracking it, and they're trying to shut it down because they don't want researchers coming out of America. They want America to buy everything in from outside. That's what they want.
Well, the best
And
part
that's
about
the
the
issue.
paper is it's completely and utterly unnecessary.
Oh yeah.
We have paper mills in this country that are massive.
Yep.
We produce pretty much all of our own toilet paper and like paper towels and things. So we have the means
We do.
to make our own damn paper.
We do. We got huge paper. We got huge timber farms all over the place.
Yeah, massive in scope. Some of the biggest in the world. Actually, I think they are the biggest farms in the world. There's bigger, like, where they cut down forests. There's bigger of those. But I think America is one of the only places besides like Scandinavia, I believe, that has sustainable timber farms, or almost
Oh yeah.
sustainable. It's like real close.
Oh, America has really good
And
timber farming, yeah. And understand farming meaning that it's, grown specifically to be used as paper. It's
correct.
not old growth forest being cut, right?
Yeah,
Japan has it as well, but Japan is a very interesting situation. It's kind of a sad one too, in a way, because when America came in here after the war, they were trying to, Japan was starving. There was no jobs. It was just a hot mess. So America did a lot of things to try to get Japan back on its feet. And one of the things it did was by planting lumber all over Japan. I mean, literally from tip to tail. Today, every place you go in Japan, you see cedar groves all over the mountains. And those were originally planted by the Americans, and the Japanese have continued to use them and
evil
farm them.
Americans.
Evil Americans. The negative part of it is, though, because now you have this type of cedar so widespread across Japan, cedar allergy is rampant now,
Yeah.
and it's become its own industry. So that's a negative, I guess. But yeah, no, it's this is unfortunate.
Not
Uh,
negative to the people selling the allergy medicine. They're having a great time.
yeah, that's right. They are making money. But there it is, guys. We talked about it. Other people have talked about it, and you're starting to see it affect us even.
It's
So,
only going to get worse.
yep. But all right, so let's move on. This is for Booster.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. DC Comics confirms new Superman attracted to dudes.
Yep.
Oh, looks like even sources are correct, huh?
Yeah, and people were calling us paranoid. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, so now you have to ask a question. They've taken the real Superman and they've kind of sidelined him because they want this new Superman they can do more things with, because they're just frustrated they can't do evil things with Superman, right? So they want to
Yes.
do evil things with this kid is what they want to
And
do.
that's why they aged him up, which is the weirdest
Yep.
fucking part to me.
Well,
They
you're
had
from
to
your
rush
favorite
this
writer.
out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, starts with a B.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Bendis, by the way.
I'm surprised you said it so calmly. Okay. Yeah,
I just have like that calm rage, It's
you
just
do. That's fair. That's fair.
fucking Bendis.
Fucking
Like,
Bendis.
Well, listen, here's my real
I hope he
problem with
gets
it.
hit
Not
by a truck.
not
Yeah.
so much the gay propaganda. The gay propaganda is stupid. It doesn't even offend me anymore. It's just dumb. It's the fact that they're trying to make this character that no one really likes be Superman.
Oh
There,
yeah.
no,
It's
no,
clickbait.
sweetheart. There's one Superman, and there will always be one Superman, no matter what DC idiotic editors end up greenlighting. No matter what they call this guy, just like there's one Spider-Man. Miles will always be Spider-Man 2. He's
Yeah.
not Spider-Man, and he never will be. And that's not even a dig at Miles, it's just the way it is.
Oh, he's the cultural appropriation Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It's just
listen,
Disney
I get it.
boys.
They really wanted to see that S with two boys, actually, kissing each other,
Yeah, boys.
which
Yeah.
this is basically,
Yeah.
softcore child pornography, but hey,
Teenage boys. Yes, that's what they
yeah.
are. Yes.
But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's an attempt to market to an audience that doesn't exist, and to engage our audience, their actual audience, to make them upset or even furious, outraged.
To use
And I
this
just
as
don't.
free marketing.
Yeah, I think that's ship sailed. That's
Not
done.
true.
I think
Free marketing,
everybody's
yeah.
gotten smart to it. Everybody's
No one
gotten
cares.
wise to
Yeah,
it,
whatever.
and no one cares.
Next.
And like I said, to every single comic book character, every single comic book fan to ever exist, there's one Superman, and there always will be. Everything else is just an echo of him in his shadow.
Yeah, but it's also to emasculate the hero, right?
Yeah, of course.
But
they didn't have the stone. See, I would actually almost respect it more if they would have had the balls to turn Clark gay.
Yeah.
But they don't have those balls.
Just make
They
him
don't.
flaming. Just be like,
Just
oh, Lois, I just realized I hate your vagina.
Give him a
Ah.
rainbow cape. Just lean into it.
Just
Yeah.
go full for it, baby.
That is true.
If anything, I was more offended by just Tom Taylor's absolute lack of
Laziness.
knowledge or care for the character of Kal-El Superman, right? Where I was actually genuinely very upset when he was saying to John, "Well, you're from Earth, so you can relate to them better. I'm an alien. I can't relate to these people." When he found out he was an alien later in life,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah,
I
it's
just
just a dumbass doesn't know the
the
story.
whole point of
You know.
Superman is that he was raised so damn well by the Kents
Yeah.
that his lack of his being an alien does not matter, does not compute. Superman is more human than anyone.
Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of the point. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Yeah, and they miss it, and I'm very happy that Pa Kent has been brought back from the dead to see his gay grandson. I'm happy about that.
I wonder
What
how
the
these
hell's going on
Kansas
here?
people would actually react to this.
Conservative farmers in Kansas, I'm sure he would just love that.
Yeah, but
Oh, hmm.
there's several trouble with this picture, though. I mean, take a look at it. Pa Kent's been dead a long time. Why is he standing there? And why is that tractor sitting in tall grass as if it's never been used? Are you trying to say Pa Kent's lazy now? What are you doing, dipshit?
I also don't like Superman with a long cape. I think that looks ridiculous. He should have his cape just above his ankles and no longer.
Well, it doesn't make sense
I,
for walking around. That would suck, man.
yeah,
Has
I
to be
mean, the
like,
reason Batman has the long
I'm a
cowl is so he
really
can hide in the shadows.
true.
Superman doesn't do a lot of
I'm a sucker
shadowy
for
hiding.
Yeah.
I'm a
Well,
sucker for really long capes.
yeah.
I just think they're
It
cool.
can be cool. Spawn is definitely cool. But in this
Tom
situation,
McFarlane gets ridiculous with it, and I love it.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but in this situation, it's kind of like Hillary Clinton need a little girl to carry her dressed like a boy, by the way, to be carrying her skirts going into some hoity-toity British university to spake.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Oh yes, that was delicious, wasn't it?
yes, yes, it was. But okay, Pa Kent, you know,
Yeah,
not in a
dude,
weird
that is
way. I'm not really gay. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't look. I look really, really gay, but maybe I don't know. Okay.
Oh jeez.
Uh,
Oh my goodness. Oh please.
that art is freaking terrible. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I don't know what's going on over there, but that's bad. That is not good art. That's
Oh,
not
that's
quality at
it is
bad.
all.
mixed. Yeah, it is mixed for sure. But all right, whatever.
And
We knew
also,
this,
my
so
Superman wouldn't fuck a little dweeb. He'd get himself a hunk.
he would.
he'd
Now
have
that,
Kidding me?
the big old
A
stick
fucking
swinging stud.
bear.
yeah. Well, see, well, here's the thing. They
Only
won't.
the best gays for my Superman.
That's right. But here's the thing, though. You talk about them not having the balls to do it. They made him the man in the relationship, right? They didn't even bother to make him just full on gay, right? So it's like, all right, whatever. Whatever.
Couldn't even give him like a Bully Harrington stud of a man.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe he should hook up with the Midnighter. Now there's some pedophilia for you.
Oh God.
Oh, that would be really bad.
Yes, it would be. But anyway, moving on.
There you go. I
Confirmation.
fucking love Midnighter and Apollo, right? They're probably my favorite couple in comics, and they're gay and they're dudes and they're both hunks.
They are hunks, yes. But you have certain persuasions, though. Let's be fair.
It's true. Being a
Yeah.
deeply closeted gay man.
Yes, deeply closeted gay man. Anyway, moving on.
Netflix's upcoming live-action film adaptation of Keanu Reeves. How do you say? Is that supposed to be pronounced Berserker? Because
It
it's
is
like
Berserker. Yeah, it's supposed to be
Berserker.
Berserker. Yes, yes. Yes.
Who
So,
thought this was clever? I hate you.
Keanu.
Nebs, the Batman writer Mattson Tomlin. Oh yes, okay.
The Batman is in the movie. But yeah, no, Keanu. I mean, we love Keanu, but he's not the brightest bulb in the box, you know. But anyway, his Berserker. But now this headline is a bit of a misnomer. Well, it's not a bit of a misnomer. It is a misnomer. It's not a live action adaptation. It's an animation, an animated series, a series or a movie they want to do. And Keanu's all excited about it, and it's moving forward. It's definitely, definitely, definitely happening. Here's my thing, though. I'm happy they're doing animated, other than live action. I don't know why this headline is wrong, but because live action would have been weird. But this character is basically he's a Nephilim. He's a half god, half human, right? And he has one of his biggest flaws of being a Nephilim is sometimes he loses control of his emotion, right? And he goes kind of frenzied and kills shit. That's the character, and he works for various or the American government or various governments, doing doing dirty work for them. That's the character. The problem is there's no way you can do this without Keanu seeming to be John Wick again, right? There's no way. So
I think it's
going
the only character he's
animated
playing now.
is better. What?
I think John Wick's the only character he's playing now.
Yeah, and that's fine. It works for him. I have no problem with that. So therefore, it going animated is a good thing. That will help a lot with that, I think. I don't know. I think it's pretty good news. I have no problem checking it out. Something new. It's something written by Keanu and others, so it's not going to be crazy woke, right? It's going to be much more straightforward. What do you guys think about the Berserk animated series coming?
I think that I like it when Keanu Reeves gets paid.
Yeah,
That's what I like.
yeah.
Other than that, Netflix is, well, garbage. They're a garbage company run by garbage people who promote garbage shit. So at least Keanu's getting paid.
Yeah, and he gets to
That's
do
all
an
that matters to me.
R-rated version too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he's happy about that. I think it's cool. I think it's great news. Like I said, I think it being animated and them being very serious. I mean, Keanu's very serious about this project. I think it'll make it different enough that you won't get too much of that John Wick vibe because of that. So I'm all for it 100%. What do you think, Booster?
Get on it. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, no, I think it's worth watching. This is going to be coming out next
There's
couple of years, I
Chester's
guess.
favorite movie right there. He just passed it.
Constantine, yeah. I do love this movie, man. This is a great scene too, where the devil's is so thrilled with himself. I don't know what it is about this movie, but I just love watching it. I love it. It's weird. Because I know right well it's not Constantine. I get it. It's Keanu Reeves. It's not like he gives some Oscar-worthy, performance. I don't know what it is about this movie that I love, Booster. What is it?
Um, I don't know, it's just kind of rule of cool and it's shameless about it.
Maybe,
And
maybe, yeah, maybe. Goodness gracious.
maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, did I say something wrong there?
I know.
Because
I
I
think
think,
you're right. Yeah, yeah,
because I like a good bit of rule of cool.
yeah.
Uh, hell to logic, get it out of here.
That's a badass cover. See, now compare that to that DC nonsense. Just nonsense. Look how good that looks. It's very simple. It's subtle. It's telling you all kinds of a story right there. And then you go over to DC and you just get nonsense. The art's terrible. The covers aren't even good anymore. It's just bad. And we gotta quit pretending that it's not. It's pretty much all bad. Like from an artistic level, objectively looking at it, it's not good.
Yeah, that's often true. And I know Keanu is just beside himself with the fact that he could write down a word that has no vowels.
Probably that
Like
sounds like something he'd
he's
love.
like, dude, it's
Bruh,
cool,
listen.
dude,
Well,
bruh.
there won't be any vowels, bruh.
Yeah.
You can tell
Oh,
he
goodness
was into the
gracious.
90s.
Oh goodness! Now it looks like people thought that they were going to do a Constantine reboot, but it's not. It's a Berserker thing. Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I think it's cool. I look forward to check it out because most of the stuff on Netflix is absolute crap. You can get some of the old stuff. I did watch a movie recently I enjoyed. Was Acts of Vengeance by Antonio Banderas. He's definitely an old dude. He doesn't have the sexy man thing anymore. But he can act. So now he's leaning on his acting instead of just being a hunk of a dude. But the Acts of Vengeance, not all he's got a lot of he's kind of like a lot of these older actors that just makes tons of movies to make money, and a lot of them are not good. But this one, Acts of Vengeance, it's pretty good. It's very philosophical. Yeah, I liked it. I suggest it. It is a slow burn though, but I'm okay with that shit. I'm old, Booster. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But anyway, good news. Good news. Let's move on to not good news.
I think I might have to start giving Boom some more money because
Yeah,
they do
no,
put
I
out
agree.
quality.
I
They put
agree.
out quality.
Yeah. They're trying, you know what they're doing that's just shocking to me? I mean, I can't believe it. I'm kind of beside myself. They're trying to be a comic book company that makes money.
No,
Oh,
well, come on now. What are you doing? What are you doing,
oh,
Boom?
you silly people.
Yeah.
It's not how we do it anymore. We have to make Twitter happy. That's the rule.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway, go ahead, Booster.
Alrighty. Viz to publish Spider-Man and Iron Man team-up manga from Yu-Gi-Oh creator Kazuki Takahashi.
All right. Now, I don't really care much about the article. Great, awesome. Congratulations, Gambate Takahashi-san. But I put this up here for one real reason. They have many times, and it also leads into a later story. They have many times tried to do, Marvel or even DC, but mainly Marvel has tried to break into the Japanese market, and they've done Japanese, Marvel manga. They've tried, and of course, a lot of you have probably seen the, Marvel or DC anime stuff. And
Yeah.
I just never like it, dude. I don't like the look. I don't like Japanese art style. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Well, what do you think, Booster? You're a younger generation. You grew up on well, so did I, though. But you grew up on this art style. Well, what do you think of, Japanese versions of American comic books?
Um, it heavily varies, doesn't it? I think that they look so. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not the guy to ask. I'm with you, Chester. I'm just not into this.
No, I don't like it.
More
Yeah.
more power to you guys if you are. If you're into this. For some reason, something about manga bothers me, and I can't really put my finger on it.
There's a lot of things, but the style is very unique, and that's fine. It's their style. But
Yeah,
and he's all going Yu-Gi-Oh with the cards here. It's funny. But
that is so fun. I love
yeah, that is fun.
that.
But you know, it's it's very much Japanese have their own style. They have their own look, as they should. However, it's kind of like seeing a foreigner in a kimono, right? As is the same seeing a Asian girl or a boy dye their hair blonde. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I mean, if you've ever seen a non-Japanese, even a non-Japanese in a kimono, it looks off.
Yeah, I
And the
agree with you. It does.
and the reason why is because the Japanese have very long abdomens. They have short forearms and short calves. They are the real. We found the dwarves. They're here in Japan. No, seriously. But I mean, therefore, the kimono, which is their own creation, works. It perfectly accentuates the accentuates the Japanese body, and it doesn't look good on other things. And this, I think, crosses over because there's been so many attempts, especially a lot of anime, to introduce Western comic books into Japan, and they just look bad, man. I just don't like it. However, like I said, Gambate Takahashi-san. I hope you have success with it, brother. You know.
The only one who, from what I understand, the only one who's had decent amounts of success is Spider-Man. And I bet you a lot of that is because of that. Right there. You stopped right on it. His movement
Yeah.
is so unique to him
Yeah.
that it seems to translate decently into manga.
You
Whereas
should see
other
the artwork by the One Punch Man guy doing on
yeah,
Spider-Man. It's
yeah.
crazy. It's ridiculously good.
Well, he's ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's one of the reasons because as we all know, this stuff is a visual medium, and like you said, I mean, I agree with you. Most manga I can't get into because the art style, it pulls me out of it. One
Yeah.
Piece is a great example. I just can't get in. It's probably great. It looks like it's great. I watch people review it and they love it, and the storylines sound pretty cool, but I just can't. I can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
brain won't
I
let me
understand.
enjoy it because I'm looking at nonsense.
Yeah, I understand. And let's be completely fair. Western things, whether they be Marvel anime or DC anime or even manga, which is actually quite rare, they're not successful here at all. They're really
Yeah.
not, right? Iconography is far more popular than the actual thing. So you could see kids wearing a Spider-Man shirt, but they've never read a Spider-Man comic book or even seen a movie. The
Yeah.
iconography is what's important to them, the style of it, more than the actual thing. But this is I put this here for that conversation, but also for something very important, a story that's going to come up here momentarily. So let's move on and get on toward that here, and it's right here. Go ahead, Booster.
All right. Daredevil showrunner Stephen S. DeKnight announces he will no longer work with Marvel after discovering equals should used to protect. Oh, fuck off, you pussy fart.
Yes. There you go. Well, no, this guy has had an absolute conniption over the fact that C.B. Sobolsky used to write under a pseudonym, a Japanese one. And I wanted to break this article down, actually.
In
And
like the year 2000 when he thought it was edgy and cool.
it's not even that, though. I actually
Yeah.
understand why he did it. I'm going to get into
I mean,
that.
he just thought it was cool even. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe even that too. But let's break it down a little bit and see what this guy is complaining about. This old CB. Actually, this is from the Comic Con that I was at. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, but all right. So he wrote some Elektra and some Wolverine stuff whilst he was in Japan. Now, understand that CB was over here in Japan because I guess he had either a girlfriend or a wife who was Japanese at the time. I don't know if he's still with her. He might be. I hope they are. He does speak Japanese, I guess, which is awesome. He spent a lot of time here, and he was here trying to promote Marvel in Japan, which he failed miserably at. But I don't blame him because no one's ever succeeded at it. But that's what he was doing here, and he did it for long enough, and he was out to pasture for so long that they ended up eventually rewarding him by making him the whatever they call this ECI or whatever what is this title they've come up with now instead of CEO he's the EIC whatever who cares and of course we know he's not really in charge anyway, he's just kind of there, right? Anyway, this old story, nothing new. We talked about it before. But this The Night guy, the guy who wrote season 2 of the Daredevil, Netflix series, right? This is not a. I guess he's been just starting to do a little bit of comic book stuff. But this is talking about the Netflix series. Unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But this I got a kick out of. This person here, T. Franklin Harley Quinn writer. Okay, thank you for letting. They're so proud of that. Bush, you're gonna have to help me out. I'm not a youngin, so I don't understand what this word is supposed to be. I'm so
I'm
creamy. What is that?
crying. I'm crying. Apparently, I think she was trying to say I'm crying.
Is that what that means? Okay, all right,
Yeah,
thank you.
and I
Okay,
think she's implying that she's laughing so hard that she's crying,
okay,
or
okay.
either that or I'm cringe.
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm not up
certain.
on the young folks.
There's
But
there's a reason she has a disabled icon in her name there.
Oh, that makes sense now. Mental disablement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know we've already covered this before. CB Sobolsky was running under the Akira Yoshida or Yoshida Akira.
I mean, come on,
S
Akira Yoshida. It'd be less subtle if he called himself Goku Naruto.
Yeah, it's definitely an homage, right? It's definitely an homage. But we covered it already. But
Come
I'm more
on.
interested in what Mr. Tonight has to say. He's getting more and more upset as this Twitter storm continues here. He's going on about cultural identity theft and how he can't believe it and he'll not work for Marvel. Of course, he really just started doing stuff, but he's not going to do it because of this horrible dude who, stealing stuff and how dare he? Oh my God! And he goes on and he goes on and he goes on and he goes on. My fucking
Oh my
God, does he go on?
god.
But this one I thought was very interesting. This is the one that caught my attention. He says, "Yes, that I understand. I'm not implying he did it to get ahead at Marvel, because that's the argument they're having."
I
Rich Johnson, of all people, is saying that, oh, he didn't do it to get ahead at Marvel. He was just doing it out of an homage and love of Japanese culture, which is interesting. Rich Johnson's defending it.
Chris Johnson. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, he was.
A reasonable take from him.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. But I want to read this here. I'm not implying he didn't do it to get ahead of Marvel. What I'm saying is, in fact, that he did this at all should have excluded him from the EIC job. His actions illustrate a deep insensitivity to cultural appropriation. Okay. Now, Mr. Denight, you whinging little shithead. Let me give you a little bit of history lesson for you because you clearly you have no freaking clue what you're talking about. Comic books is one of the very, very few things that's purely American. Right? America is a land of opportunity, the land of ideas. It's a place where everyone comes in and creates stuff and does their thing. It's the hub of the world. We always have one. Rome, Egypt, at various points in the history, or what have you. There's always been a hub, and that's what America is. However, most of our stuff is coming from immigrants and outside, which is reason why we love actual legal immigrants. However, comic books is wholly an American creation. Wholly. Therefore, anybody outside of America, by your logic, who is making comic books, including the old wee little Japanese, are culturally fucking appropriating it. What is wrong with you, dumbass? What is wrong with you? And I will add one thing, and I probably already said this before. I'm sure I did. But I will add something to that. You cannot have success in Japan with a foreign name. You cannot. The Japanese are xenophobic, 100%. They're all nice and sweet, but they are xenophobic. And if you put a foreign name on that, you are doing nothing. You're not going to get anything. So the reason he did it was because he was sent over there because all this bullshit from Rich Johnson is bullshit. He was trying to do his job and sell Marvel comic books in Japan. That's what he was trying to do. So he wrote it himself and put a Japanese name on there to try to trick the Japanese into liking it, which they didn't, by the way. So it failed. Have I said anything incoherent or incorrect?
No.
No.
First of all right. As a Steven, his name's spelled wrong, so he's culturally appropriating that name.
Fair enough.
Second, Mr. Denight, is it cultural appropriation when an Asian person moves here and gives themselves a European name?
Yeah.
Because it happens all of the time, including the most famous one of all time, Bruce Lee, spelled bull with European. Well, Bruce is a European name, and Lee spelled like a European name.
Yeah. Or
was
Jackie
that cultural
Chan.
appropriation? Jackie Chan. I mean,
Jet
we could go
Li.
on. There's a myriad of them. Is that wrong when they do it? It's only wrong when a white guy does it. Why? I don't think it's wrong at all, actually. I don't have any problem with it at all. If somebody wants to call themselves poo-poo pee-pee pants, fine, whatever. Sign on the line. Cool. Hi, poo-poo pee-pee pants. There you go. That's your name now. Who gives a crap?
Hey, you're just stealing Booster's ideas now.
At the end of the day, a Chinese co-worker who just came along and just said, "Yeah, I'm Jack." I was like, "Oh, what's your real name? I'll try it." And it just says some nonsense. I was like, "Yeah, you're Jack."
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it's just simpler, right?
Yeah.
But again, that's actually a good point, Booster. I know you were mostly making a joke, but it is a good point. You're in a different culture. They don't speak your language. Why wouldn't you adapt rather, to that and give yourself a name that is easier for the people around you to engage with? That makes perfect sense to me.
He did it for. Yeah.
It was just. It happens.
It was just so people could pronounce it because it is so hard to pronounce a Chinese name.
Like if I moved to Zululand today, like I moved where the Zulu were at, and I started speaking in Zuluese, I wouldn't call myself Steven because a lot of them they'd be like, what?
I actually know the Pele translation for that. It's that's Steven.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be a bunch of nonsense. Or go speak of that. What's that language where they just click? There's a language in Africa where they just click at each other. That's how they talk.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
My name doesn't make sense in that language. Right. Why wouldn't I adopt a click name? That's exactly what every single normal person would do. You don't move to somebody else's culture and demand they call you by the name that they can't even frickin' pronounce.
No.
That's ridiculous.
And to add to that, here in Japan, there are many Japanese, particularly males, that take Western names as a nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happens all
because,
the time.
English names are pretty cool. Some of them,
Well,
like
because
Jack, John. They're
Hollywood.
simple.
Yeah, Hollywood.
They're real easy. They're cool. They're slick. Like, I'm sorry, the Japanese names are not cool. They're just not. They're too
No,
long,
sometimes.
and they got too many Z's and X's in them and nonsense.
Yeah, there's
Whereas-
occasionally.
They
But
just make a bunch of guttural throat noises and call it a name.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But let me add another layer to this when you talk about the Chinese. Now, what that Chinese guy was doing was something very normal for him, because if you go to China, I don't care where you're from, the Chinese are going to give you a Chinese name.
That's right.
They're not going to call you Peter or Sarah. They're going to give you a Chinese name and they're going to refer to you in that way because that's how they are. Your name's not good enough to be spoken out of their mouth, right?
Yeah.
The good, I'm not kidding at all. And you also have to have a Chinese name because if you want to do anything that requires any kind of paperwork whatsoever, you have to be able to write it in Chinese characters. You have to, right? So when you have a Chinese person coming to the West, you're seeing a touch of humility out of them because they're like, okay, when you come here, you have to do that. Therefore, when I go there, you have to do that. That's their thinking, right? So it's a good sign actually when you see Chinese people who actually take a Western name. They're showing a bit of humility, right? And they're showing respect to you is what they're doing. So if you meet a Chinese person who demands you use and pronounce their name only, you're meeting a pretty arrogant Chinese person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a massive example of hubris, of narcissism, to completely not understand a cult. Like the reality is, what Sobolsky did was definitely the more culturally sensitive thing to do.
It was, yeah.
Because imagine if you could, first of all, a name like Sobolsky is nonsense. These Polish names are nonsense and everybody knows it. Mm-hmm. Imagine a Japanese person trying to pronounce that.
Yeah.
That's just a nightmare for them. And that makes them feel bad, right? Because they think they've insulted you by mispronouncing your name.
And the Japanese do care, where the Chinese
Yes.
don't, right?
Yes.
But and let me add another caveat to this. I don't know this because Sobolsky hasn't said it. He just took the blame for it 100%, and that was the end of a conversation. And I praise him for that because I guarantee you, a Japanese person told him to do that.
I guarantee it.
I guarantee.
I wouldn't doubt that for a second. Yeah, I believe him if he said that.
Bus.
Yeah, I believe that 100% if he said that. Yeah, one of the guys over there, one of the artists said it was a good idea. So
he didn't.
That's why I did it.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He sucked it up and said, "Yep, I did it," and that was the end of it. So good on him for that. Good on him. I mean, see, I know there's a lot of hate coming at CB, and I understand why, but I don't have as much hate for CB. I understand he's just a figurehead, and I'm sure he gets it too. But he's done a few little things here or there that are, I respect him. You know. In that regard anyway. And one thing I did notice when I was at the Tokyo Comic Con, and Sobolsky was it was his thing. It was like his coming out party. And he really does love Japanese culture. His whole thing, that entire con, really the only thing that was truly promoted, other than the Godzilla movie, which makes sense, was there's a very, very famous band here that's very popular, and he created a set of mixed media, whether it be internet, webtoony things, and a comic book, and a whole bunch of stuff featuring this band, which he clearly really liked. So that was his big hurrah. That was his favorite thing. It wasn't a Spider-Man or an Iron Man or Thor or Black Widow. It was this Japanese thing. The guy clearly loves Japan. So, but the Night guy, dude, get a frickin' life. Get a life, you scumbag.
What an absolute controversy.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Literally nobody in Japan gives one or two or even three poops about this.
Nobody.
They would literally just be like, "What?" They wouldn't even understand why you're upset.
They would actually see it as respectful.
Yeah. Yes, and it is respectful. I think that was part of it. I think he was trying to be respectful. He does really like Japanese culture. If I ever moved to Japan, I'd probably change my name to something Japanese, or at least like officially, just because it's easy. It'd be easier.
Well, in Japan, you don't have to, and I honestly think you shouldn't do that. If you're in China, you have no choice in the matter. But you really, truly have no choice in the matter. The government will do it for you if you don't do it yourself. But Japan, I'd actually advise not doing that. Go with your name. Now, and what the Japanese will do is they will refer to you in whichever is the easiest way to pronounce it. Like, for instance, you guys know my name is Chester Cornelius Busby the Third. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're
But
very proud of that, aren't you?
yeah, it's a ridiculous
You
name. It's
fucking
so
cartoon
beautifully
character.
ridiculous. I mean, come on.
Only
Uh,
Hanna-Barbera could have come up with that.
I know, right, right. But what do the Japanese call me? I have a few names, right, over the years.
Giant.
Well, sure, but that's just kind of a generalization.
Godzilla's
Yeah.
cousin. Yeah.
Uh, but I get really two names I get called. Well, three. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I am sensei, and that's it. Because everybody knows I'm a teacher. I might not be their teacher, but I'm a teacher. And a lot of teachers in Japan just get called sensei. It's the normal thing to do. So I get sensei a lot, right? Even if I'm at the convenience store, they know who I am, right? So because I live in a small place, there's only 60,000, 50,000 people in the city, right? That I work in. There's not a lot of people. So when I go to the convenience store, even and
Well,
I getting stuff, they're like, Ida sensei, or nanui, they're asking me, is that everything, or what have you? I get that all the time. The second most common thing I get is chetto sensei. Chetto,
Yato.
Chetto sensei. And the last one I get very rarely, only amongst my actual friends, is Akura. But that's because of I did some sumo things when I first came here just for fun. We were goofing off, and they thought I looked like a temple guardian type of thing, so they just call me Akura. But that's only my really close friends. That's just like literally like a dozen people. Everybody else is either sensei or chetto sensei. So they will find the easiest pronunciation. Chesuta is difficult for them, so they don't. It's hard, so they don't usually want to go with Chester. And Bazubi they can do, but it doesn't flow as easily as Sensei or Chetto. So they will find the easiest route for themselves and let them do that. That's my recommendation for Japan. China, you're not going to have a choice in the matter. But when it comes down to friends, if you actually make friends in China, they will make an attempt to try to pronounce your real name if they can. They will. But that's Asia. But anyway, I'm going to move on from this. But it's talk about ignorance.
it
Yeah.
just sucks knowing my favorite show is written by a pussy.
No, he's dead.
Who's-
Well, a lot of them are. It's okay. Just
Yeah.
because he's a pussy doesn't mean he can't do his job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Gail Simone. She's absolutely intolerable, but
You know what? I'm
she's a
gonna
good
check
writer.
something. I almost guarantee you his real name's not Tonight.
It might not be. You get on that. Let's go on to happier news.
What is this?
I know it's funny, dude. It's
Batman
hilarious.
Wayne Family Adventures webtoon being adapted for live action.
Okay,
Why
now
is Damian Wayne Brown?
I'm gonna cover it for you. It's funny as hell, dude. Now DC and Marvel are really beginning into the webtoons. Now I'm not exactly sure what is a webtoon.
It's just webcomics. It's just
Yeah,
online free webcomics.
which have been
Yeah.
very popular, and that's awesome.
Mm.
But what this they've decided that I guess it was successful. Maybe I have no who knows these days. But they're going to make it a live action. Right now, if we think of a comedic Batman, we think of the '60s Batman, right?
Yeah.
We think of
Or Batman Brave and the Bold.
Batman Brave and the Bold. Those are both really,
Yeah.
really good fun. Adam West is great. We love him as
Or
Batman.
Batman and Robin.
Or Batman and Robin. Well, but it's schlocky and it's goofy. It's fun, right? So if you want to have a Batman comedy, you can certainly do that. You can get away with that. But if I were to say, what is the one way that you could do Batman intentionally as a comedy that wouldn't be funny? What would it be?
A family sitcom.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't
Oh
fight crime
no.
at all in this. There is no crime fighting.
Oh,
Matter of fact, they waste most of their time arguing about who gets the last crouton on the plate.
it's that kind of humor,
Yep.
huh?
it's definitely lesbian girl humor. Yeah.
Oh, fuck me, Dad.
That's exactly what this is. There's no crime fighting. There's no Batman in it. This is just them all living together under one house and having all their little arguments and spats in their little domestic domain. That's what this is. It's all about the domesticism of being
So
in the Wayne family, which is why it's called the Wayne family and not Batman, right? So yeah,
I don't get it.
do you want that?
I don't. I don't get it. Who was watching All in the Family and said, "Wow, I can't watch this unless they're all replaced by DC characters"?
hmm hmm Or Lego Batman. Good job, Josh. That is funny. They did
Right.
a good
Or
job with
like,
Lego Batman. I enjoyed that. It was
yeah, that
funny.
was shockingly
Yeah,
good. I thought it
it
would be
was
crap,
great.
but it
Yeah.
was good fun. Maybe there's such a fucking good joke where Robin's introducing himself. He's like, "I'm Richard Grayson, but the kids, the orphanage, all call me Dick." And he says, "Yes, well, children can be cruel."
It's true. It's true. But so you can do comedic Batman. Definitely, you can do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
But literally a family sitcom. Literally, I don't know, dude. If they think it's
You're taking away what makes them interesting.
Well, what they're doing. It's the same thing I talked about yesterday with AJ Pickett was kind of promoting, D&D changing for the girls, right? That's what they're
Yeah.
doing. They're trying to change it to make it more female oriented, something women would enjoy, a la a sitcom. Fine, I guess. You're the owners of it, so you can try to make money any way you'd like. But why, once again, does everything have to change for the ladies? Why do we have to take and dramatically and radically shift everything so that the ladies can like it? What's the point?
It is strange. They can't just have something new. They always have to invade on our spaces.
Yeah,
If so,
because they can't stand
anything
it.
is, yeah, it sucks. If anything's male orientated, anything's just for the boys, they gotta twist and deform it until it's
They do.
something they'll like.
Yeah, and like you say, you have a men's club, which is just a place for men to go and be relax and be around other dudes and talk and play golf or whatever. Just simply a men's club. What's wrong with that? I mean, women could do that, can and do the same thing, and I've never heard a man complain about it.
Yeah,
Why would we? Go ahead.
I ain't going to the Tupperware parties.
No, or whatever else they're doing. The Avon. I don't know if you have that over in.
I ain't going to their fucking period discussions. What you fucking?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fine either way. But that's
exactly.
definitely what's going on. But hey, if it's successful for you and you get a bunch of ladies loving your Wayne, which they're not even going to get it though. They're not going to understand why is it this group. They might not even understand that it's connected. So I don't know, but whatever you have your
Dude,
fun with your
they're still trying to push
Netflix
Duke
live
Thomas as
action,
well.
huh?
They're still trying to push Duke Thomas as well. I don't think that character's going anywhere.
Oh yeah, I was curious who the black boy was. I just figured he was a new Robin or something. What is he?
Um, he was a new sidekick for a while,
Hmm.
and I think he's adopted by Bruce Wayne. But they never made him Robin. They made him a character called the Signal, like the Bat Signal, and
Uh huh.
his costume's terrible.
Oh, I see. I
And
see.
there's he just has no character to him. It's real, yeah. It's just
Why?
Because
one.
they're terrified of writing black people with actual character because they
Yeah.
might offend somebody.
Exactly.
They might
Why?
offend a white liberal on Twitter.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
in this scenario with Bruce, the way he is, bringing a black kid in and making him part of the family is not an odd thing at all.
No,
It's
of course
nothing
not.
weird about it. It's normal.
I don't care. It's cool for Batman to always add a new character, add a new Robin, right? It's
Yeah,
just this one's just he's a real nothing character.
that's too bad.
Um, was Cassandra Cain part of this lineup? Is that who I saw with one of the girl characters?
I did see a girl up there. It's probably Batgirl, I would assume. But It's up here, yeah,
Because
right here in the corner.
yeah,
I
'cause I really
figured,
like Jessica, and I hope she gets more attention.
yeah. I mean, like I said, with Bruce and the way he does things, you can bring in all kind of characters, and they did for a little while. I actually quite enjoyed it. The Batman International stuff, where he
Yeah,
was kind of setting up little corporations all over the world to try to help fight crime internationally. And the best character came out of that for me was the Batwing, the black dude in Africa, and it was neat
yeah,
because it was DC's attempt to actually tell an a real African story,
hmm
which I thought was
it
cool.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. But so I don't really care whatsoever. They can throw in all kind of characters. That's the thing. You know, they're always offended by everything. We're only offended by things that are offensive.
Just nonsense.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just nonsense decisions.
yeah, yeah.
You know, what'd be kind
Um,
of cool for a Batman story is he's still Batman. He's still doing Batman things,
Mhm.
but Bruce also has, because he's Bruce and he can own whatever he wants. He owns like a private detective agency,
Yeah.
and that's where the Bat family works, so that they're always being, they can always do the job and do it properly, and they could still
Oh,
mask up and stuff if they needed to. But I just think that you could really do something cool with that, because
you
then you could have
could.
anybody. You
Yeah,
don't even have to adopt them or nothing. They just they hired them and
yeah.
they trust them, stuff like that.
No, no, I think it's a great idea. Luke Cage and Iron Fist did the same thing, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
It's not a bad idea. It actually makes sense. But they're not going to do anything logical these days. It's all about offending and appropriating and culturally stealing and all the stuff they complain about. But
Yes.
anyway, moving on.
I haven't finished it.
Oh,
Why is Damian Wayne brown?
because dude, his mom is swarthy.
Swarthy. I love that word.
Moving on.
I mean,
Well, isn't she technically Arab?
she is. Yeah, yeah. She's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
of a Middle Eastern persuasion. That's why I said she's swarthy.
Swarthy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talia al Ghul, a hottie, dude. Major hottie.
beautiful
Um,
babe.
it is
Damaged goods.
damaged goods, but of course Batman loves damaged women. And that's a cool little quirk of his personality. But I did think it was
Mhm.
really funny that he ended up having a kid with Talia and not Catwoman.
Yeah.
It's weird because that's Celine Kyle is kind of his main squeeze, right? But whatever. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, moving on. Oh, this is just the most awesome thing ever.
Marvel Comics announces new bestest ever female Ghost Rider series.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a simple question here before I get into explaining what this article is about. This character has one flaw. What do you think it is?
As
Um,
a penis.
Nope. Nope. Definitely
I don't
doesn't
know
have one of
because it
those.
looks kind of red at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think the design's bad at all. And it's
Yeah.
not, and the concept of the character being a Native American girl from the 1800s becoming a Ghost Rider is not an issue. Who cares? It's
Yeah,
a
that's
Ghost
cool as
Rider,
hell.
right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's
Uh,
funny. Yeah,
that's
what's up? What's the catch? What's the
her
snap?
one weakness. She's too powerful.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
As
She
usual
has
with
the
that.
Tila problem. I see.
Yeah, see, she is the bestest ever Ghost Rider. This headline is accurate because not only is she the best ever Ghost Rider from the 1800s
Yeah.
because she has complete control over her spirit of vengeance. She's also the Sorcerer Supreme at that time.
What?
Yeah,
What?
and many other little things.
What?
She is the bestest ever thing, the most powerful thing ever. So much so that that's her main weakness. She's too powerful.
That's
Uh,
some fucking fan fiction shit.
yes, it is, dude. Yes, it is. Because once again, the idea of a female being a Ghost Rider is irrelevant. Who cares, right?
She's
It's
a
a
Ghost
Ghost
Rider,
Rider.
and she's a Sorcerer Supreme, and she has all the Infinity Stones, and she can kill Galactus with her brain, and she's all above one, and she can actually teleport to the real world and kill you IRL.
That's right. That's right. So but an interesting thing though, because The problem you have with these characters, and we all know this, we don't have to say or tell you anything, is that when you have a character that's perfect in every way, they're not interesting. The fact that Johnny Blaze struggles to control the spirit of vengeance is a major part of his character, right? The fact that he laments some of his actions is important to the development of the character. She doesn't have any of that because she's got complete control over everything. She has no flaws whatsoever. But she's got that. She's social supreme. They added some other things in here that I thought was funny. She also saved Johnny Blaze's soul. You know, he owes his entire thing to her.
Really?
Yeah, his entire existence is because of her. Also, she's a time traveler, which is weird because why haven't we heard of her before? That's dumb. You know, don't paint yourself into that corner, right?
It's
And
like retconning's an issue.
Yes, that's right. But they've done it. They don't care. She's connected to Kushala, of course, directly. And there was something else they put in here. She has extra stuff as well. Because of her sorcery weakness, she has too much power. Okay, I missed it, but whatever. So the thing is, though, um, female Ghost Rider, who cares? Native American Ghost Rider, even better, right? That's cool.
I thought that sounded rad. I was
Yeah, I think it
thinking,
sounds
this
really
sounds
cool.
great. I was like, her design's cool. I'm gonna check this out. Is what I thought. You know, I was like, oh, a grounded Ghost Rider story from the 1800s, but instead it's not
No,
grounded at
no.
all.
And of course they think that's going to offend you, but it's like, no, we don't get offended by things that are not offensive. Who cares if a Ghost Rider is a thing that could be anybody? That's when they changed it over to the Reyes kid. I think his name's Reyes. The new Ghost Rider in his car. No one blinked an eye at it because it was like, yeah, okay, so it's just another Ghost Rider. That's normal. That's how it works. So that's not the issue. The issue is she's the bestest ever. Oh, and she beats up on Doctor Doom, by the way, because he's nothing, right?
Yeah,
Here's
let's beat up Stan Lee's favorite villain and
Yeah.
humiliate him. Great idea.
And
here's the worst part about it for me. Well, the two worst parts. One, I don't like the character design. I think it is every stereotype that you could ever think of for a Native American woman.
It is.
And
not
it's
great art either.
preposterous. It might be able to look better with better art. It's just preposterous. That's not how they dressed. They didn't dress like that in the 1800s unless they were living with a tribe, and even then, they probably didn't dress like that. I fucking hate white liberals. I hate them so much. They are so irredeemably racist.
They are.
And
They are.
they think that they're actually doing something good with this, and it's ridiculous. That isn't how Native women dressed,
Not
except
how
for in
natives
very
dress.
specific places.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyone that would be engaging with white folk would probably be dressed very similar to white folk.
yeah, no, and if you look at it here, we get a Cherokee collar, a Navajo band.
Yes.
We have a Blackfeet loincloth, which only men wore, by the way.
Yeah.
We have what is this? Algonquin dagger. You know what? I mean, exactly.
What tribe are you from, darling? Pick one.
You know, and then of course European gypsy earrings, as you would. So I don't fucking know, dude.
It's so dumb. And then obviously the Mary Sue nonsense is stupid too. But the other problem I have with it is how long have I been talking about I want an 1800s Ghost Rider? I want a cowboy Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
I want that
cool.
whole deal.
Yeah,
it could be
have
so
it, but they didn't do much of
badass
it. Yeah.
if they did a full series with it, leaned into it, went crazy with Rule of Cool. Because imagine, not only does he have his horse, but this dude's got a stagecoach. This dude's got a train.
Oh yeah.
Come on, dude.
We do have a kind of half a measure in Jonah Hex, though.
Yeah, but he's still not a Ghost Rider.
No, he's not. I agree.
Instead, we get this ridiculous Mary Sue that is so overpowered. It's not even like they should have just been like, okay, chapter 1 of the new first volume, first chapter of this. She wins. That's it. That's the end.
That's the end of it. Yeah, there is a Cowboy Ghost Rider. There is.
I know.
We just
Yeah.
haven't gotten a lot of access to it, unfortunately.
Oh,
And I
I'd
just
love to see it.
noticed. I just noticed, by the way, she also has the Sue side feathers on,
Yeah, because
right?
why wouldn't she?
And yeah,
She's all of them. She's somehow every tribe in the
yeah,
1800s. Just
and
all of them.
and she's these are not accurate because they want to make a comic booky, which I don't mind that. But this is what a Pawnee type of eye paint.
Yes.
So I mean, they literally, it's as if they went and because yeah, that is a Sioux side feather. So they went and they just kind of looked at pictures, I think, and just didn't
Yes.
know what they were doing.
Hodgepodge it
They
together. But
hodgepodged
they
it
could have
together.
done something cool, and she could have been the cowboy ghost rider. I'd been cool with that. Because that's how they would have dressed. They dressed like everybody else by and large, unless they lived specifically with their tribes. But the ones who were involved with the white man, the white devil, typically dressed like them. They would
Yep.
have on just normal clothing for the period. And this right here is a serious problem. When they get mad, they get pissy about the representation of Indian people in movies and whatever. It's the thing that gets the actual natives mad is the way they make them dress. They look ridiculous.
Yeah, they do.
They look ridiculous.
And the Victorian corset, which is perfect. But it is weird, and also any girl at that time would not be caught dead in a pair of pants, dude.
Correct.
Never. Yeah.
Correct.
She would be disowned. And for more reasons than you think. There's a reason women wear dresses, and I think modern times and these little things we call feminine napkins have made us forget that. Yeah. Sorry, Booster. Sorry for the image. Poor little Booster.
Yeah, I'll
It's
forgive
not
you.
a pretty one.
No, it's not. But this is sad because it could have been cool. It could have been cool. But of course, she's the bestest ever. And they don't understand why these things keep failing is because they need flaws. They need failure. Otherwise, they're not interesting. All
Listen to
right.
me. We could have got a ghost rider that uses a bow and arrow that shoots arrows with flaming chains off the end of
Oh
it.
my God.
That's what we could have got.
Oh my God. And she could
That's
have
what we
been,
could have got.
oh no, she could have been
Oh
riding a
man,
fire wolf.
Yep.
Oh my
We
God,
could have got it.
dude.
All could have happened.
fire
She could have
bitch.
been riding. She could have had
Flame
a
bitch.
fire, a flaming wolf, and she could have had a flaming white buffalo. They
Oh
could
my
have
God.
leaned into it.
No, she could have had Naruto-esque flaming Sasquatches. Dude, come on, missed opportunity. They could have
We've
made
done
it a
some
cool
cool shit.
Western meat Grimlock. That is true. We all agree, I think. But dumbass, wasted opportunity again. However, we're going to end today on pure joyous rapture.
Buzek to publish new Aerosmith series and Esto. Is that Esto City One?
Astro, once again,
Ah,
Bleeding Fool, no, Bounding in the Comics is having some headline issues. Trent, get your shit
Anthony.
together. It's supposed to be Astro City.
So Astro
Right.
City one shot at Image Comics plus new collected editions.
Now, I am just absolutely over the moon. I love Kurt Busiek, and of course his bestest buddy who works with him and does entire comic books, Alex Ross, baby. Astro City is coming with a one shot with a hint in this article. We'll get more. Oh, I love Astro City. And Booster, if you have not read Astro City, go do that. The predominance of the art
Yeah.
in it is from Alex Ross. Not all of it, but a lot of it is. And what
Mhm.
they've done, not every single character, but a lot of the characters are from the old, golden age, way back characters that are open license now. And they've done with their own thing with them, and they have their own creations as well. There's one that has the I can't remember his name offhand, but he's kind of the Superman-esque character, and the whole comic is just about him being so damn busy that he's so fast he can move. One second he's in Brazil, the next second he's in China, and he's saving the world all day. And what he dreams about is just taking a nice casual fly. It's
Oh,
such a cool little comic. Yeah. I love Astro City. I don't know Aerosmith, but I'm going to check it out because it's I didn't even know it existed, but it's definitely it's made by people I adore. We're getting new stuff, and we're getting more new stuff. And we're getting some old stuff. This Aerosmith, which I don't know, but I'm going to read. They're coming out with new things, a new series, and they're also taking all the old stuff and put it into an oversized hardback. So if you're a fan of Aerosmith,
Ooh,
you should be happy about that. Alex Ross is the bomb. Yes, he is. He's the goat. However, and it looks neat too because it's kind of a steampunk magic thing, which is right up
I
my
like it.
alley. I got to check
I
it
like it
out.
immediately. Yeah,
Yeah,
immediately love that.
and it's
Very
from
cool
Busiek and his
aesthetic they're
people.
going.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got great art. Those guys, some of the Astro City art is not as great, but a lot of it
Right,
is.
dragon.
I know his little pseudo dragon pet. That's neat, dude. And of course, a one shot, a big old one shot for Astro City. Introduce new characters. Sounds like they're going to do a spin off and do some other characters with the Jayhawks and other things like that. Looking forward to it. Love Astro
Oh,
City. They're also putting this into a complete collection as well. Um,
um, apparently Aerosmith came out in 2003.
Astro City or Aerosmith?
No,
Yeah,
Aerosmith.
I don't know it. I'm gonna go check it out though because I like these
Yeah,
people
I've
that are
never heard of
involved.
it. Yeah,
this is awesome if
I
you
like
want to
that
get the
design
complete
right there.
collection.
I
Oh,
like that
Alex
dude.
Ross, dude, come on.
Yeah, I love the design of that character. It's
Yeah,
simple. It's simple, but it's also very unique. And that's one of the things that I think too many comic book characters, especially modern ones, they're just a mess. They're all over the place. There's too much going on.
yeah.
You don't need that much going on. Look at that. Look how
No.
clean that looks.
Well,
It's
well,
so clean.
it is clean. And what these guys were smart. What they did was they went to Alex Ross and they said, Alex, would you like to design some characters? He said, yes, please. And he did. All the new characters come out are also Alex Ross designed. He's not writing it, of course. But, when you go to an artist of the caliber of Alex Ross and say, can you design some stuff for us? You're a smart person to do that.
Yes.
Right? And yeah, he understands classic simplicity. Alex is amazing. Um, you know, and they got this new thing, free agents. I love this is great news. You got Autumn Lands is coming back, which I don't know this one, but once again, it's something I should check out. It's neat. You got Indian bears, dude.
that's
That's
cool.
all I need. This is
That's fine.
great news. New stuff, and this is all coming out through Image, which is interesting. But awesome, dude. We're getting some more Astro City, Aerosmith, plus a whole bunch of other stuff. And it looks like they've made a very strong relationship with Image, and there's a lot more coming. That's what it sounds like in this article. Sorry for me all drooling over here, but I do love comic books, and this makes me happy. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a big mark for Golden Age, and things that look Golden Age and the Golden Age style, all that. I think that when I think of a comic book, Golden and Silver Age is what I think of. It just is. That's what my brain associates with it. And there's just something very American and very aspirational about the
Yep.
art styles and stuff of that time.
Yeah.
And that I've said it on here. I think if they want to bring comic books back from this brink of the abyss that they're leaning on, that's the way to do it. Is that art style? Go back. Don't try to go forward. Go back. And I think this has me interested. Just looking at her, just look at that breastplate and that outfit right there. I love it. I love everything. I'm in. I'm like, yep, I'm in. I love it. Love everything about it. And it kind
Well,
of like what we were saying earlier with manga, how it just the art style turns us off a lot of times. This is the exact opposite. The exact opposite of what I experience when I look at certain mangas.
yeah. Well, interesting thing here. If I come down to that character you said was so beautifully designed,
Yep.
the thing that they do so well
Sorry
in
about
Astro
that.
City,
Bye, bye, bye.
he's right here. Let's look at another picture of him here. Now, it's not just the design is so clean and neat. What do you think his name is? Try to think of an original name that perfectly encapsulates Superman, because that's what he is. What do you think his name is? Because it's perfect.
I have no idea. I wouldn't even want to. I don't even want to guess. What is it?
The Samaritan.
I like it.
Yeah, I
That is
love
good.
it,
It's
dude. I
very
love it.
good.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I know I kind of go on about Alex Ross here, but let's be fair. He is the Norman Rockwell of America. I
Yeah.
mean, it's what he
He-
is of American comic books. It's exactly what he is, and he's a treasure. These guys are very smart to get him on board the way he should, because the way his art is, it takes him a while. So therefore, he usually does covers. But in Astro City and other things like Kingdom Come,
Look
which
at it. Of course, it takes a while. Just
yeah,
look at it. My
yeah.
God.
But if you really enjoy Kingdom Come, and let's be fair, Alex Ross's art is what sells that, right? You can get much more of his art at Astro City. You can. But it's not just that; it's all these other things too, which I'm going to check out, dude. I'm definitely going to check this stuff out. So, Booster, you got any opinions here?
Booster has left.
Oh,
Uh,
has he? Oh, he got called away
but
by
he
his.
would probably, if I'm gonna speak for him since he decided to leave the prick. Uh, he probably agrees with me as far as like aesthetically. He also seems to like that old feeling. Like he really liked Jupiter's Legacy, which is a very similar, has that
Yep.
old aesthetic to it. So I bet you he probably agrees with me. I just love that guy. I love his outfit there. It's very Greco-Roman and
Yeah.
very simple, and it's inspiring to look at, and that's what a comic book character should be. That's what Superman should feel like when you look at him. He should inspire you. He should make
He
you
should.
want to feel. He should make you feel better, right? It fill you with hope.
No,
And
and and the cool thing about it is with the Samaritan stories, a lot of those Samaritan stories are some of the best Superman stories you'll ever read.
yeah,
Yeah, they're so
well,
well done.
it's like My Hero Academia, right? All Might. That's the exact reason why he works. That's the exact reason why I think the whole thing works, is because All Might worked. If he didn't work, if he would have flubbed making a basically Superman, it just wouldn't have worked. It would have fell apart very quickly as a story. But he didn't. He killed it, and it's the same thing. That's some of the best. That might be the best Superman stories we've gotten in a long time, and it was coming out of a Japanese manga about superheroes.
Yeah, no, that's true, and it's true love and inspiration from the medium, and that's
Yes.
the cool thing about it. But like I said, one of my favorite Astro Cities is of the Samaritan, and it starts out where he's just kind of smiling and happily just flying, right? And you see that he does his job thanklessly and with a smile on his face. He spends all day running around everywhere on the planet saving people all day long, and the whole point of it is he never has enough time for himself to just simply enjoy the pleasure of flying. It's a a really great story. I love it. It's simple, but it's so poignant. It really kind of shows you what it would be like to be Superman, right? It's truly self-sacrifice. And that's the neat thing about it. But I know Adrian, they're all liberal shitheads. What do you want, dude? They're all liberal shitheads. But I mean, what's good is good. I mean, that's the end of it. If we,
Very well could. They very well could, screw it up and
oh
put a
yeah,
bunch of nonsense in it. But even still, it won't take away from Mr. Ross's art and his
oh no,
character designs.
well, he's not
They're
talking
just
about. He's talking about
spectacular.
Busey. He's talking about Busey.
You know, you know.
But that's true. You can't take away from Alex Ross whatsoever. But yeah. Anyway,
I love
uh,
it. I like that Samaritan character. I like his design. I don't know what's that chick's name. Do you know her name? The one with the like eagle breastplate or whatever it is.
excuse me. Yeah, she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I can't
basically.
remember. I haven't read Astro City in years and years, over a decade, dude. I haven't read it. I can't remember her name offhand, but it's something appropriate. The name the naming is quite conventions are quite good. Just like the art style is quite good. It's bang on. It's someone that has a love for the traditional big two comic books, but can't use the characters. Went and uh, made their own version of it. That's what this
Yeah.
is. And it's not, and it's shameless in doing that, but it's just fun because what it is pure love of comic books. So, although I understand some of the people involved are liberals, they can't keep their mouth shut. And I understand all of it, Adrian. You're right. However, if it's good, it's good. It's just that simple, dude. It's the same thing as I was talking about with Gail Simone or DeConnick or things like that. They are horrible human beings. Yes, they are, but they're also talented. So, I mean, if
Sure.
you throw everything out with the bathwater, you lose the baby too.
The solution to that problem is just don't give them money.
That's
Just
fair.
enjoy it as a passive observer, or hoist the old Jolly Roger if you feel so inclined. I'm not your daddy. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But otherwise, just I would say if and I agree, if somebody's worldview is that offensive, you shouldn't give them money.
Yeah, that's true though. If it bugs you that much, you shouldn't interact with it at all.
Yeah,
I get
absolutely.
that. I get that. Because there's plenty of movies and things coming out. I'm not even going to bother to watch. I'm not going to bother. I don't
No,
care. It could be great. I don't give a shit.
I'm still at
So
a
I get it.
toss
I
up
get it.
about going to see that new James Bond movie. I want to because it's a James Bond movie, but I already know what's going to happen in it,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
do I really want to get angry? Because it's probably I don't know if it's going to make me angry, but there's a big chance it will. Do I want that? Or the worst thing it could do is make me go, eh. Right? I don't want to watch a James Bond movie and go, eh, at the end of it. I want to be entertained. I want to have
Well,
had a good time.
let's be fair. Daniel Craig has been most every movie.
Yeah,
I don't like this new non-campy Bond. I don't.
me
I don't
neither.
like the realistic Bond. I mean, I have Jason Bourne. Matt Damon does a better job at it. I mean, just
Yeah.
plain and simply. I want campy, goofy, wink, wink, tongue-in-cheek Bond. That's what I want.
The worst part about it is the closest thing we have to big budget Bond movies are the Fast and Furious movies,
I
for
know,
Christ's
dude.
sake.
And
It's so dumb.
yeah, but they embrace it though, and
Yeah,
that's
they
what
know what
makes
they
it.
are, and they're
Yeah,
fine with it.
yeah. Let's see, Chester, you incorrect about Kelly Sue. Been a bitch. Being a bitch isn't a talent. It's a slappable offense. It's true, Grimlock, but she can write, dude. She can. She is capable of putting down good storylines. Just like the old dumbass there that wrote Kingdom Come. He's written some good stuff. Just like uh, you know, uh, uh, the asshole that screwed up Superman and Super Sons and stuff. What's his name? Booster hates him.
Bendis?
Bendis. The dude
Bendis!
has written some. He has written some good stuff. And now I understand. What have you done for me lately? Fine. Not everything is perfect, of course. But when it is good, it's good, and I'm going to enjoy it. Their attitude and their character is what it is. Because let's be fair. Let's be fair. These SJWs, they're just grifters. Let's be honest, okay?
It's a
These
grip.
people don't believe the shit they spew, dude. They
Well,
do
they
not. They are
they can write.
grifters.
They
Go
can
ahead,
write,
Grim. I
but
trigger somebody. Go ahead, Grimlock.
they can fuck off too. That's what they can do.
Oh, Adrian.
I'm
Okay.
not going to forget the shit that I went through for 5 to 10 years of this shit. No, fuck them. I hope they all burn in hell. Fuck them.
Oh, there you go. Fair enough. I understand the sentiment though, Adrian. I do. I do understand. Yeah. I understand it's all a big game from them. I get it. They're just trying to make money. These people are not even close to true believers, dude. Not at all.
Well,
They're just trying
I
to
don't
make
care
money.
if they're true believers or if they're trying to make money or not. They can fucking die in destitute for all I care.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get it. But I am looking forward to New Astro City, though. I do love that. But I understand Adrian's point, and you're not wrong. You're not
No,
wrong.
they deserve it. They ruined their industry. They ruined an industry that they got into,
They did.
and they can fuck off.
Okay.
Luckily, the our friends from across the Pacific and our friends from across the Atlantic actually are the ones who are going to save it.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think American style comic books are going to last as a actual market force. I mean, there'll
No.
still be niche and still be people out there, But I really just don't. I think once the big two go, it'll take a good 5-10 years minimum for somebody else to actually make something. Unless something just comes out and just murders it, right? Just kills it,
Yeah,
selling like
a
Demon
phenomenon.
Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a phenomenon. It'll take somebody with a vision to really build this thing back up. You'll need a guy with like a Stan Lee or a Ditko or somebody with vision who can get in there and do the work. That's the most important part. Isn't lazy and can just bust this stuff out at high quality or at least memorable quality, like a lot of Stan Lee's stuff.
But
And
let's be honest also, right? The stuff isn't cool.
correct.
No, a lot of it isn't. I'm not talking about stuff that's bad. I'm talking about good stuff from bad people. Is what I meant. But I get your point. A lot of it isn't cool at all. And the sad thing is, when we were talking about the cultural appropriation, where everybody else in the world who's doing comics is taking that from America, the sad thing
Yeah,
is we've become the Britain of comics.
yeah,
Jesus, it's sad, dude.
it's pretty
Sorry,
terrible.
I shouldn't have cut you off. I'm sorry about
No,
that.
no, no, no. Go
I'm,
ahead, dude. You're free
no,
to
no,
have your opinion.
I'm talking to Thundaro. I shouldn't have cut him off. I cut
Oh
him
no, you're
off. I
fine.
shouldn't.
I just what I think's going to happen is the indie revolution isn't going to end. We're going to end up very much like the gaming, and it's already happened, really. Very
Hmm.
much like the gaming industry,
It is, yeah.
where the independents are where the real creativity is, and it's where the real push for the industry to actually evolve is. But it's much smaller as far as commercially, and the mainstream stuff will become much more international. And manga's already doing that. Manga's done it, in
Yeah,
fact.
yeah.
And I think that's the market, that's the play going forward. I don't think, honestly, genuinely, I know it sucks to hear, and I don't like it, but I don't think Marvel and DC are going to exist the way we grew up with them
Oh
existing
no.
in 10 years. They'll
That's
be gone.
definitely true. We know that's true. And
Yeah.
and manga has taken it didn't do it intentionally, but it's taken advantage of the situation because it shows you
Yes.
that Americans are clearly want their comic books. They just couldn't find
Correct.
cool things, but they found it in manga. So I mean, there it is. And this is how these things happen. But I
And
agree
look
with
how
that.
long it took manga. Look how long it took manga to become, hit this insane golden age that's bigger than anything we've seen in our
Out
lifetimes.
outside of Japan. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Outside of Japan or even in Japan, really. I mean, they've exploded in popularity all over the world, even in Japan, in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, no,
Even with the
that's
crazy
true.
numbers they were doing 20 years ago with the big three, they're just blown by that like it didn't even matter. But my point is that it takes time. Even American comic books took time. It
A
took a
long
lot of
time.
exploration,
Decades and decades and
decades
decades.
and
Yeah, yeah.
decades of trial and error, and some of it worked and some of it didn't before we got to the point where in the 60s you had a guy like a Stan Lee come in and revolutionize the entire industry.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. And
that is going to take time
it
to
is.
fix.
And
Yeah,
I agree
it
with you with
will.
the indie stuff because it is coming along. We're seeing a lot of other talent that are, that are less afraid to come out and get involved, and
Yep.
it is going to grow. Go ahead, Adrian.
Oh, well, I was going to say it does take time, and it has taken manga time, but at the same time, it's pretty fucking amazing to me at this point to see how quickly it blew up. Also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
remember, I've been reading manga since the 90s when you couldn't find it.
All
Right.
right. That must be cool for you then.
Now you can go to Barnes and Noble at our local, Adrian and I's local mall, or one of them,
Yeah,
and they have a whole sections with just huge litanies of whole like
they're
big
bigger
trades and
than
everything. Yeah,
they're bigger than
huge
the American
posters.
section.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, way bigger,
Well,
way bigger.
Way bigger.
and part of the thing it's
And
going to help is that the Japanese will not compromise.
no.
Good.
Well, like a good example is me in the 90s, Fist of the North Star.
Mm.
It was like a treasure, right? Because you
Yeah,
couldn't find it. You could not find it. It was like the only way you could watch it is through VHSs from people that you knew,
Yeah.
or you could get like manga video, but manga video didn't release all that stuff. Uh, Now I can go to my local bookstore and I can get Fist of the North Star. It's like a thing that I never thought I could actually own.
Yeah.
that I could actually own.
Yeah, no, that is cool, dude. It is cool. And one of the things that really revolutionized all those things is the VPN, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
understand you see all these commercials, like, I want a VPN. Dude, I have been desperate for a VPN for decades. Something that would allow me to get it because I live over here in Asia. For me to be able to interact with the West is a pain in the ass. The VPN has changed the world in such a good way. It allows us to get media, to be able to see things, and you have such great communities all over the place. 4chan, Reddit, wherever, and these people will do amazing things. Like, say you want to play a Korean game. Well, you have to go. Well, they've made it kind of difficult to do that now, but just how it used to be. You could play that game. Not only could you find a way with a VPN to get in there and play it, you could also find someone that went and translated the entire game into English. Right? That's the kind
Nice.
of shit that's going on. It's awesome, dude.
That is
Yeah,
good.
well, I mean, the other thing that people don't want to talk about, but it's the truth, the other reason why manga blew up was because of scanlation sites.
Yep.
They want to say that
Yeah.
people didn't buy stuff that went and found stuff on scanlation sites. Well, I can tell you that's not entirely true. Yes, there are
Correct.
always people that will pirate and not
Oh yeah.
buy anything. But if someone likes something enough, they will buy it.
Oh yeah.
I found several books that I'd never thought would ever be released here through scanlation sites that I can now purchase, and I have purchased
Yeah.
and have supported.
No, that's
The
definitely
most
true. Yeah.
successful video game creator, singular creator of all time, is Notch, the guy who created Minecraft. His
Oh yeah.
marketing strategy
Yeah.
was piracy. He knew that if he could get people playing his game, they're more likely to pay him than they're not if they've never played it. This is simple marketing. It's simple. Give them a taste of it, right? Give them a taste of it, and maybe they'll come back for more.
Yeah.
It's very simple, right? It's why they give out free samples at the grocery store, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what video game companies should have learned, and unfortunately, a lot of them didn't. And that's what the music industry did learn. That's why it's so easy and cheap to buy music now, largely because it was so easy to just download it. And they were forced. One of the reasons they were forced to adapt was because the artists were tired of losing money. So they did. They found a way to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
And same thing you could say with movies. Aside from a few movies that are like hard to come by, or if you just don't want to support the studio, like it's a personal reason, it's just so much simpler now to just rent a movie on Amazon or wherever. It takes a minute, literally, just 1 minute. Just bop, bop, press a couple buttons, and bam, now you're watching the movie for $4 or whatever it is.
And this is old knowledge. This isn't new. People have understood this in marketing for a very, very long time. Not even in this century or the one before. And that's why it's so baffling to me when you get places like YouTube that you play a trailer and they ban your video.
A trailer.
Are you kidding me? It's a whole point of it is for people to see it.
Yeah, the thing they literally made for this purpose.
Yeah.
Nah, can't be having that.
Can't have that. Yeah. Goodness gracious. But anyway, I do need to wrap it up because I got to get to work and I'm pushing my time here seriously. But nevertheless, that was fun. We had a few good laughs. We had some happy news, at least for me, because I adore Astro City. So I'm looking forward to that. But thank you all for coming here and being part of it. We love it. Keep in mind tomorrow, hopefully we'll be getting close to wrapping up the current D&D campaign. And I'm not sure what we're doing this week on Drawn a Quarter. Do you know, Adrian? No, Adrian
I have
doesn't
no
know.
idea.
Yeah. But it'll be cool. It usually is. Anyway, all right, let's get out of here. Adrian, you have any closing statements you would like to say about the vile nature of Kurt Busiek?
No. I've said all I've wanted to say
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
There you go, Kurt. Burn in hell.
I
There you
hope
go.
I hope the indie comics do keep growing. I think that the Big Two's time is done. Like, I don't even care anymore. I used to be a huge fan, and it's not just all the stuff that they've done. It's beyond. Like, it's time for it to end. It's time for new stuff to come. because that's
agree.
how things grow.
Yeah. And where are we seeing that, Adrian? The indies are growing. I think the thing that's going to come up, and it's going to probably be a little bit of a bittersweet for us, is it's not going to carry along a lot of the indie people we know. It's not. You're going to get these
Oh no,
bigger
it's
names
not.
come in, and they're going to kind of take over, and it's going to be is what it is. Similar to what Ethan did, but on a much bigger scale. So understand that is coming, unfortunately. But I do agree. I think it is growing, and it's at a pace, and it's not. It's not really back down. So that's a good thing. So anyway, thank you
All
coming
it
in,
takes
Adrian.
is someone to have a bigger mind than Ethan had when it comes to this thing.
Or some of the other big names that are coming in. No, that's true. I'm sure there will be a few people who get caught up in it and will have success. I know there will be, but it's just it won't. This whole concept of all a rising waters raises all ships. That's not really true. But anyway, fair enough. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, everybody else for coming in. We'll check you out next week for our various news and fun laughing programs. But we're gonna let Thundero take us out of here, man.
Our laughing programs sounded very Soviet.
Thank you.
Um, we are living in interesting times, ladies and
We are.
gentlemen. We have the governor of Texas out here banning vaccine mandates, which is a good thing. That's the very term mandate should be stricken from the lexicon of American discourse.
Amen.
It's completely un-American. But the one thing they cannot stop, and the one thing that they need, the one thing that they actually genuinely are afraid of, and that's why all of this is really happening, is you. They are afraid of the free-thinking peoples of the world, good, bad, or indifferent, because they know that it is you kind of people, the good people, the noble people, that they cannot defeat. They might destroy you, they might kill you, they might hurt you, but it doesn't mean they defeated you. Have a good night.
Namaste.